So client revisions are the silent killer of about 95% of the agencies that I audit. So I want to go through the 4 steps that we took at WKND to decrease our client revisions by 50% in about 6 months. The first thing we did was we created an internal checklist. So each team member should have 100% of the info that they need to do great work available to them without having to go back to another team member or another client for more information. Because every time that someone gets out of flow, out of what they're doing, it's a chance for them to lose focus and to make a mistake that the client ultimately is going to revise. And this checklist should really be tailored for every single position in the service line. So for example, our email team had 4 checklists. We had a strategy checklist, we had a copy checklist, we had a design checklist, and we had a build checklist. So everyone who is involved in email, strategist, copy, design, and builder, they all had their own general checklist that they would use to make sure that everything was correct for each client. And then 2, we created specific client checklists. So each client is going to have their own specific needs, their own specific wants. So we created a do's and don'ts checklist for each client. And these are especially important if we want to keep things on brand for copy or for design if you have those things you're working on in your agency. You should start building out this checklist immediately after a client onboards. And this may even require customer interviews to ensure that your teams are aligned on what brand is for that client or what best practices are for that client. But I'm telling you, the short-term investment of time initially is going to be well worth it when you have much less revisions in the future. The third thing that we did was we created a lot of templates and a lot of frameworks. And this one is controversial in a lot of smaller agencies where they don't like to templatize things, they don't like to create frameworks for things. But this ultimately is going to create a much better experience for all team members involved. So each team member should have a template or they should have a framework that they're using to decrease their work time, to increase their creativity, and then to decrease revisions. So email should have their standard set of templates per client and then always try to improve upon them. So you might have 10 different templates for email that you use consistently and you're always trying to beat those in an A/B test. Or creative should have a standard ad framework that they build upon while they're always testing new ad frameworks. Or paid media should have a standard campaign build that they already have out built per client. Every service line should have these types of checklists on a per client basis. And then lastly, the best QA is no QA. So many agencies have a QA function and they think this is going to help to decrease revisions. And while this may work in some scenarios, a much better solution is having each person QA the work that came before them. That way, any errors or mess ups are going to be spotted immediately, they're going to be sent back immediately, and the root cause can be figured out immediately. But if you have a QA function, you have to wait until the end of the process to see what went wrong, and by then you might have created multiple tasks for the same issue, so you have more revisions. So if you're looking for help in optimizing your agency operations, DM me and I'll give you a free audit.